Hey everyone, welcome back to the next exciting edition of Lending Leadership with the Mortgage Pros. Robert Fillyaw here, joined as always with Tom Mills and Dave Holland. Hey guys, how are y'all today?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. I'm doing well. Feeling a little relaxed, a little refreshed. We just got back from our President's Club trip to the beautiful Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Had a great time. And, it was great getting to spend some time with our top producers and really just unwinding. But it made me think that, there's a lot of people in our industry out there where we were to say, hey, we're going to go to another country for 3 or 4 days. Like they would just fill with anxiety and dread to think about actually being away from their business and being away from work for that long. Or what's happened to a lot of people that I know, they would go and end up working 3/4 of the time that they're there. So I thought what might be cool today is for us to talk about setting up your business and your team for success, to be able to take a vacation, to have a business that can run without you. What do you guys think of that topic?
We talked about it when we were Dominican. It's a timely topic. I may or may have not shared with you guys. I asked my wife like 5 or 6 years ago, I said, how come we never took like vacations when we were younger without kids? I got 4 kids. And she said, because you were always working. Wow. So, when and I was too afraid to leave because the way I had things set up, I'd have to toss it to a loan officer. Yeah. It was, I would lose, like I'd go on vacations, spend money, and I would lose thousands of dollars because my business would essentially stop. If you leave your business and it stops, that is not a business.
That's a problem.
That's a massive problem. Or to your point, Robert, I would leave on vacation and work the entire time. It wasn't even a vacation, right? I'd get up like at 4:30.
It takes time to figure out.
You were just working in a different location.
Yeah. And like I'd go sit at the beach for, this is before good Wi-Fi or good, 3G or 5G reception. I'd get up at 4:35, work for 3 or 4 hours, right? Then go to the beach for a couple hours. And then I'd be like an addict sneaking back to the condo or the house at the beach, work for a couple hours and tell my wife I was napping or something. It was bad. It was bad. And that's not a vacation.
No, it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm remembering. So I tell people all the time, the best thing about our job is that you can do it anytime from anywhere. The worst thing about our job is that you can do it anytime from anywhere, right? Because there's a lot of jobs out there where like, if you're not at your job, you just can't work. You're not doing it. Ours isn't that way. I remember we went to the Dominican for my mother-in-law's 50th birthday. So this was a number of years ago, before the Wi-Fi, before all of that. And I had one of those air cards, like internet air cards, like you slid into your laptop and you got internet over cell phone. You remember those, like way back in the day?
Vaguely.
And I had a loan going sideways. So I'm just going to log in real quick, from the Dominican and check on it. I get back and had like a $3,600 bill for the 45 minutes I was on the internet in another country over the cell service, right? So to your point, Dave, like it cost me money trying to work while on vacation, but I digress. We're getting a little off topic. So how do you go about, like, if you had that LO out there, that's like, yeah, I hear you guys. I feel you. This is an issue that I face. How do you overcome that? Like, what steps do you do? What's the pre-vacation game plan, if you will, to be ready?
That's exactly where I was going. If you're the one-man show versus you're someone that has a team of 3, totally different story, right? But here's the key here. I think, to be the guy, the girl, the team leader that has the team of 3, you had to have really done the right things for 90% of your time to be in that position, to have that team, to even be able to go away on vacation and rely on them. So, where does it start? It starts with doing the consistent things day in, day out. So you have some direct support tied in to your team, and it becomes much easier there, right? If you don't have that, so you're an LO is doing a couple of deals a month where, look, let's be real. If we're gone for a week, you close 3-4 loans a month, you're not able to work. That means you're losing 1-2 loans that week. You lose half your income, and you're going away. So like that's the stress that loan originators can deal with. So, without having someone you can rely on, leadership that believes in you getting away, it's really tough. You really have to, at that point, you're going to have to work some. You're going to have some check-ins and some ways of getting back to people, responding to people, directing people without like being involved a lot, and then having some time block that makes sense and being true to that. But without that, without a team and without leadership that's like, hey, we've got you, we're going to sign such and such to help you, it gets real tough being real.
You got to find almost an LO at your company. Hey, Bob, hey, Sally, when I'm away, you cover my desk. And when you're away, I'll cover your desk. Something like that. And the vacation days have to be fair, have to line up. I remember before I'd go away, I went to Africa one time. I went to Ireland and France 2 other times. And it was before you could really get good international email. Now everything Wi-Fi, it's easy, right? And I was filled with so much anxiety before I went. And I was trying to get so much done. The first couple of days of vacation, I couldn't even relax because I was so worried about my business. It was like leaving like an infant newborn at home for a week. I mean, it's sad, right?
You're like calling to check in. Yeah.
Now I go away. We went to Dominican for 4 days. I went to Argentina for a week and a half. And, full disclosure, I did check my email, right? But I was off of my team email. So I was probably getting 15% of the emails that I normally get.
Well, and it's a different thing to check your email because you want to. And, like we're guys that we do want to check in. We want to see what's going on. We want to stay abreast of what's happening with our company. It's a very different thing to check it because of that versus you have to. And something's not going to get done if you don't. Like those are 2 very different things.
The only person I talked to besides my wife a couple times when I was in Argentina was Tom. I was sitting on a balcony, called, and I it was like the second to last day. I kind of want to talk with Tom and see what was going on at the company, right?
Well, what was funny is it was real early, and you responded to an email. I'm like, I'm going to call him. I bet he's like sitting there working right now. It was like a Thursday. I missed you, man.
Well, like that. What the hell, guys? I didn't get looped in on this call. Now I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little butthurt. So when you're getting ready to, you guys know I'm a big systems and process guy. So let's talk about the actual preparation. Like when you're getting ready to go, you got a vacation that you're planning, right? We all know that there's the steps to actually plan the trip. But what systems, checklists, what delegation do you do? What level of communication do you have with your referral partners and clients? And I agree with you, Tom. This is going to vary based on the LO and what team support that you have. So the answers can vary all over the kind of the board. But how far in advance do you start telling people, if you do tell people? Like what strategies do you like? What takeaways do you guys have that are real world examples that you've used?
So here are the basics, just the very raw basics is if you have a team email address, get off that team email address, right? Just get your personal, so I have a Team Holland email address and I have D Holland email address. Get off the team email address because that's going to be in the majority of your CRM notifications, conversation logs, whatever. Get off that.
Asterisk, real quick, Dave. Let me jump in. Asterisk. If you have a team and you have not set up a team email address, I'll challenge anyone. You're 100% wrong. You need to do that. You have to get out of your email. It will change your life. Go ahead, Dave.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So get off the team email address. Obvious things. Set up an out-of-office on your email, right? Set up an out-of-office on your text messages. Now, I have a personal cell phone that not a lot of my realtor partners and customers called, but I did set up an out-of-office voicemail on that. You can do an out-of-office text if you put it in drive mode. It's not foolproof, but you can. And personally, I don't send out an email to my realtor partners that, hey, I'm out of town. Because what that's going to do, hey, Dave's, and I have a team, they're going to think my business is not as well attended to. Actually, not the truth. I mean, when I went to Argentina, think I left, I had 17 loans in my pipeline. I came back, I had 30, right? So I should go away more often.
That's a
But
good vacation.
it's a good vacation. Yeah. And I don't think I'm being dishonest, not telling my agents, but I mean, business gets done without me, and I am reachable in case there's a major fire. So I make sure everyone on my team is there, that no one else is on vacation. It's just like real obvious stuff.
By the way, to our listeners, as Robert mentions team email, we can make that available, our policy, how we set that up. We have a document for that, kind of help you guide through it, have it help anybody. I really believe in it. You're absolutely right, Robert. It's everything, the difference of freedom when you're away, to know that emails are being responded to quickly.
Yeah. And when you go away, here's a pro tip, slightly off topic. Take your email notification off your phone. It was one of the biggest things that probably decreased my anxiety by 15% a day. If I look down and there's like 125 unread emails on my phone, I'm like, whoa, take it off. It's an easy setting. We're not going to get into it, but just Google it.
I'll take that a step further, Dave, and I would challenge everyone out there to take it off all the time. Yeah, every day.
Oh no! Mine's off every day. Yeah,
mine's off every day. So if I am at a point where I can check email, I open it and it'll pull the email in, and then I check it. But that way, red circles drive me nuts, right? So
the only notifications I have on my phone now are text messages and phone calls. I don't have any social media on my phone anymore. It's basically I could have a burner and I'd be okay.
Dave goes down there social media rabbit hole.
Flip phone for Dave.
So let's get into, if you don't have a team, how do you prepare?
Yeah. What do you do then?
Well, number one, you should go to your leader, your boss, your manager, and say, "Hey, I'm going away. What can we sit down and talk about it?" I think that's where it starts. Number one, if you're alone, you got to sit
down.
Who
can cover me? Yeah.
What can we do?
Now that we're talking, we should let some of our LOs know to come to us. I think most know to come to us without teams. Yeah, but we should.
Real well. We've had many of them go away. They've very much used the help as their way, yeah. and I'm happy for that. You find that people come back more recharged when they can actually check out a little bit. It's really worth giving them a lending hand for a week.
Absolutely,
help them set up the process. And it costs us money too. If they lose a loan, 2 loans, like our manager loses a loan or 2 loans,
us too.
They should be into that business with them. They don't want to lose business.
Yeah, I do think if you're gonna go away and you're a single loan officer, you don't have that team. I think it changes things just a little bit. If that's me, I'm probably not setting an out of office or an out of text or right. And what I am gonna do though, the reality of you're a single loan officer, you're gonna have someone to help you. You want them to be able to do the heavy lifting. You're still gonna have to direct traffic. Right. So the reality of that is in this position, in this job, in this career, if you're a single loan officer, when you go on vacation, you're still going to likely have to work a little bit. The key to that is to time block it on your time, your schedule, and be comfortable with that. Set an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening to check in, direct traffic, make sure things are good, nothing slips through the cracks, and stick to that. That's the key.
I agree with that exact approach. Like I'm the early, get up before everybody, creep out on the balcony, grab my laptop and a cup of coffee and love life for an hour and catch up and, see what I can get done. And then that, like before, you come in from the day or on vacation, you're getting ready, like before dinner and all that, like take that hour there, recap. Then people heard from you in the beginning of the day, the end of the day, you weren't really gone. You may have gone a total gap of maybe 6 hours, not getting back to a certain thing, but that's the approach I do, Robert.
It's also, this is probably a whole nother subject, but when you're gone, you have to prioritize what gets your attention, right? And really, it should be the same prioritization as when you're here. Capturing leads is always first and foremost, making sure you're bringing the business in, right? But some of the stuff, like, it's okay, especially if you have a dedicated processor, if someone is covering you, the questions, the maintenance type questions, those can lag a little bit as long as you communicate. Like if that's a client with me in process and they're asking a maintenance type question, I would say if my processor can answer it or my loan partner, whoever, I would pull them in and say, hey, they're going to answer it. Or I'd reply to the client and be like, hey, got your email, text, call, whatever. I'm actually out of town. I'll be back now and I'll get back with you then. And as long as you set that expectation and you're not ghosting people, 99% of the people out there are going to be fine with that. And frankly, the ones that probably aren't people you want to work with anyway.
Yeah, good point. The detailed message is key too. So you get a voicemail and it's saying, "Hey, this is Tom. You received my voicemail." Actually, I've seen a lot of people lately that change their voicemail daily. And I think that's really smart. Like, "Hey, today is March such and such. Today I'm going to be unavailable returning calls. However, you can do this if you're calling about a application, you can direct to my, web app, complete that, and me and my team will be on it. If you have an urgent question, you can reach out to this person because you should have had, like, who's your person of handling your loans and process or escalations or things like that, and leave that detailed message and then say, I'll be checking my messages between this time and this time and I'll return your call."
They may be delayed a little bit.
And hey, if the matter is urgent and requires immediate attention, you can text me, and you'll see that very little are going to take that, but if you got a text, like, you probably should jump on that, but that's very, very small amount. I mean, in a week, you may take that one time, 2 times.
So we've shifted a little bit to talking about, why, while we're actually away and you're actually in the midst of taking your time off, which is
Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty.
I love you. You stole my thunder, damn it, Dave. I was just about to say that. I want to spend a few minutes here, right? Like, guys, what we do is a grind, and it takes a lot out of us. And, we provide a high level of service. You're very engaged. You got to think you're dealing with, a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities on every transaction. There's timelines. Our job is pretty stressful, right? It's one of the best jobs in the world, but it's still pretty stressful. Taking time away and actually disengaging and recharging your batteries and resting and refreshing is so important. You cannot feel guilty about doing it and unplugging, right? It's vital to your mental health. It's vital to your success. So anyone out there that's listening, if you go on a trip and you feel guilty, you feel like, whatever the case may be, stop it. I don't know how to tell you to stop it other than to say stop it. Do you guys have any tips and tricks?
You'll feel guilty for not, or you're saying don't feel guilty, like, for, you'll feel guilty if you don't enjoy your time.
It's a slow, I always say it's a slow decoupling from your business, right? I want every deal I can get, but not at an extreme cost. Every vacation, I like, when we were just away, did I have my phone in the beach bag? I did, but I only checked it every 90 minutes to 2 hours. And it was just a maintenance check. Hey, is there anything on fire? Does my team need me? Is there anything burning down? If there wasn't, and there was only 2 true emergencies, one was really not, only one true emergency while I was away. So you just got to get used to it. And you got to tell yourself, taking a vacation, it's normal, right? Because most LOs work 7 days a week, right?
Yeah.
So taking a week off or 3 or 4 days off, and if you have a team or trust people who are covering for you, then just slip away. Try to relax.
Letting go is hard to do. One thing that I did in my career at a point was I would have what I would call a staycation, right? And so I would essentially be gone. As far as my team, my clients, it would be like I'm out of pocket. You can't get with me. Meanwhile, I'm working on something in my business, something new that I want to implement, maybe some new piece of tech we were going to roll, whatever the case may be, right? And it gave me the ability to be comfortable being unplugged while I'm still here to jump in if I need to, right?
Practice vacation. You were taking a practice vacation.
Practice vacation. Right. And it did. So then when I'm out of pocket now, I don't have that anxiety and that dread because I've been used to being out of pocket. And it also showed me any gaps or weaknesses as I was building my team. What did I need to address? What got missed? What needed to be fixed? So, that's almost a practice vacation while you're away and you come back. Now you're on post vacation, right? How do you re-enter? How do you, I know that in the past, what I would do is I would come back from vacation and the next 18 to 24 hours, I was just nonstop because I felt like I had to catch up on everything right then. And it almost erased the positive impact of my vacation. What do you guys do when you come back?
I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this on the call, or on the podcast, but on the plane ride home, I try to clear all my emails and answer a lot of the emails. Not like I'm frantic, but then I make a list of items that I have to do. And it's not stuff like, send a cost sheet to Fred and Judy. It's nothing like that because my team's taking care of it. But all the big picture items that I missed that I have to get to and put off, I remember what I have to do, and I try to grind it out. When I get home on Monday, it's almost good to tell people you're still out of town for an extra day so you can get caught up on stuff. And I never try to come home on a Sunday.
No,
I was just about to say
Saturday. I was going the same direction. I like a day gap in between. If I was away, hey, just 2 days, a weekend, whatever, a long weekend, not a big deal. But if you're going like 5+ days, essentially a week, I absolutely need a day gap to, I flagged emails. I need to go back through, look at them, set time in a calendar, adjust some things, make sure I account for this, account for that, just go. And then you go in like not feeling like completely overwhelmed
on Monday.
Well, because then on Monday, you're just reacting right to everything that's coming at you. And I have my team give me a rundown of what I missed. If there's anyone, a customer, a realtor partner, financial planner, LO, anyone I need to touch the first day when I get back, right? But, on that Sunday, this past Sunday when we got back, I didn't work like a maniac or anything like that, but I did catch up on some items that I need to catch up on. And I got up early Monday morning and, today's Wednesday and I'm in a good place.
Yeah. Here's the thing too, guys, you have to build the team that wants you to go away. Like you have to empower your team. It's not about now I'm finally going away. Now I'm going to empower you. It's really about how you lead your team every day and how they feel empowered every day. Like they, no disrespect to you, but your team probably embraces you going away.
They like when I'm gone.
Let's go.
No doubt.
Let's get Dave out of our hair for a couple.
And then they want to be able to throw it in your face if they had a better week with you gone than they did with you here. Like why that make that team create
that's
that
powerful.
Create that team and everything else that we're talking about is really easy, y'all. Really easy when you have that team.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love the the come home on Saturday is something that we started doing probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it's such a game changer because then Sunday you wake up, you're at home already, get to relax a little bit. Like this trip we just got back from, just kind of lazed around honestly on Sunday. I don't know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening. I got on my email, spent about an hour just cleaning up, making a to-do list, maintenance. That way Monday I was ready to go. And, dug out really fast. So pro tip there for anyone that is getting away, come back a day early and be ready to go, hit the ground running on your first true day back.
A few curveball come on Monday. It was nice that I was paying back ahead behind because my day was a little hectic.
Yeah, Monday. We definitely got a curveball and had to
another day in the mortgage business.
Another day. Hey, listen, I want to pivot a little bit as we talk about pivoting before we wrap up. I'm going to throw a few questions out there to you guys and see, maybe a little bonus content. Do you guys have any vacation horror stories when you were gone and something, I told you about my $3,000 air card bill. Do you guys have any vacation stories where something's just totally went sideways while you were gone?
I mean, I'm sure there was a number of one-off deals or people I lost transactions or things. Nothing jumps out, which is good.
I remember one. I was going. This is probably like I don't know, 07, 08, and I was in the Atlanta airport talking to a client because I had already started my trip, but I hadn't let go. I was a single LO, and had someone cover me, but it was a pricing conversation I wanted to handle. And I promised this customer that I was going to lock a rate for them and ran out of time before I had to get on the plane to fly to Hawaii, right? Fast forward, by the time I got to where I could actually lock the rate price, it was that day where pricing had shot up like 100 basis points in 24 hours. And it ended up costing me like $5,000 to honor the rate that I said I was going to lock for them. Right. So what I should have done in hindsight is had been on vacation and not making those commitments when I wasn't in a place where I could, pull them all the way through. So learn from that.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of my vacations were in places I would do it intentionally. I didn't mention this in the beginning. I would go on backpacking trips for 4 or 5 days where I couldn't do anything. And it was like, it forced me to get away. Like there was no cell phone coverage. There was nothing.
Yeah.
I don't have any horror stories, but I absolutely have regrets, from earlier time in my career before I kind of figured out how to balance it and how to do this thing right. You look back and, you learn a lot as you kind of grow up and you get further into this career and you learn how to do things the right way. You look back and, you always wish you knew, so hopefully we were able to pay forward to a few of you today. There's an easier way. It doesn't need to be like that. You can go, you can enjoy your time away. You need to. You'll come back recharged. Hopefully you got some tips to get prepared for it.
Last question, guys, before we wrap up. Dream vacation destination.
I think it'd be in some tropical island in the Pacific. Like for some reason I have Guam in my head because it's not very well known. I like to fly to the West Coast for a couple of days, go to Hawaii for a week, then go to Guam, and then go to Australia. I know that's kind of a piggish vacation, but that's that. And I love to go skiing in Japan and hang out in Tokyo for a week or so.
Yeah. And then you might as well check out Tahiti while you're out there.
Yeah, keep going.
Or right? Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Millsy?
Yeah, low Hawaii. Tahiti's an island I never really been to. I have a great friend that lives in Australia that I've been promising I'm going to visit and for 15 years now. So, probably headed out that way eventually. Just longer trip, kids, and Hawaii's as far as I've made it thus far, distance wise.
Yeah. Yeah, Australia is if we're talking dream destination, Australia is the top of my list, no doubt. And same with me, Hawaii is as far as I've made it. So, #goals, right? Listen, guys, hopefully you guys have gotten some takeaways. We've kind of talked about pre-vacation, how to get ready, how to check out during vacation, how to come back to your business post-vacation. The biggest thing that I hope you get as a takeaway is that it is perfectly okay and normal for you to take a vacation, and you should be doing so. Your business will be better for it. Your family will be better for it. Your mental health will be better for it. So if you're not doing that, please make it a priority. So, and listen, on the flip side, if you've built a system that lets you take these stress-free vacations, if you have some tips or tricks that we haven't thought about, we want to hear about that. Drop us a message, hit us up with a comment, and let us know what works for you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us that 5-star review. We appreciate you guys turning into this episode of Lending Leadership with the Mortgage Pros. For Tom Mills and Dave Holland, I'm Robert Fillyaw. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.